Hello and welcome to another Forge Alliance cast. I'll be your host, Swkoll, and today we're looking at another game Pip posted on the forums. This was after the Serious Major game we saw yesterday, or several months from now, depending on when you're watching these, in whatever sequence. It is Lucian vs. Zock in balance testing. Both going Aeon, because they have the most interesting changes. Looks like Zock will be going Factory, 5p gens, second land. Lucian, gonna take his second air, have a good breakfast. It's a good way to start off a game. And Lucian going first flare out of Land Factory. Zock will be going for a second flare, followed by a third flare and then energies. First two flares actually from Lucian will be going around the sides. We'll probably meet the Zock's flares, and the Zock were to send both around this side. Although Zock does have the scout advantage, so he should be able to micro a little more effectively. Oh, doesn't get the first shot off. Both flares seemingly unable to hit each other, and that's a draw. On the other side, Zock pulls the win. Turns out you can't micro two flare battles simultaneously, and the scout will get that advantage for Zock. Though Lucian easily making an Aurora will be able to deal with that if he sent it to that side. Perhaps he did not notice his flare disappearing. No, he must have noticed. He's the almighty teal-colored Lucian. And Zock just getting a second land right now. It's really debatable on maps like this what second factory choice you go over for, and Lucian getting that reclaim and gets the scout. Good work. Good work. This gets you a lot more early land presence, but Lucian definitely wants to get something out of his bomber. Going for a 8th P-gen before starting his bomber, which allows his economy to not even dip whatsoever, and can easily support an early land spam to make up for the lack of tanks he has early on. Although Zock will be getting a lot of power with his ACU as well, and is a third land factory. Important thing to notice on this map is these rocks. There's a significant amount of mass surrounding your base, so mass usually isn't a problem. Aurora's getting a nice pickoff on the left expansion, and now the bomber from Lucian coming around. See what it does. It sees 1 NG. It sees oh, that's what the AC is shooting at. A rock. Good for it. But looks like the bomber not going to do too much. No, coming around for a second pass. Gets an engineer, making an anti-air turn, but that anti-air turn will completely deny this bomber. Static AA also out. Lucian going all out bombers. Against Aeon, this is a very scary thing to encounter, especially because Auroras, as we all know, die in a single pass to a bomber, as opposed to other factions which take 2 passes with the bomber. Lucian currently with 3 bombers up, no shortage of kills with them. But the turn rate on the Auroras does make them slightly better against bombers than they were in normal, and getting that kill on the radar, that's gotta be annoying. Lucian's ACU moving in, trying to get this expansion. Lucian with just so many bombers. Ridiculous. Zock deciding to make air against all this. Significant bit of static A is now out, and Zock fast tech to land. We'll be getting that tech 2 NGs out. I don't think probably not for tech 2 flank, but Lucian grabbing this reclaim. Very good on him. Oh, it's a triple bomb, takes out some of Zock's power. Zock He needed that power. Will now be put into a power stall. Unless he can recover it. Looks like he'll just manage to. More or less. And now with each player's taking control of opposite expansions, we'll see what they can do from this position. It's almost to the point where we could theoretically see a base trade scenario. With Aurora's coming in this way, Aurora's coming in this way. Although Tech 2 PD might mess that up. Well, that's easily been scouted by Lushan. He knows exactly what's going on here. So many static AAs, though. Lushan being mass efficient, taking them out. Attempted a wall off. But Tech 2 point defense, very aggressive Tech 2 point defense. That probably will not get finished. Unless Lushan decides to hold back in that position. Lushan, minimal radar coverage. Will be moving directly in. Interceptors now out from Zock. Will deny that bombing threat. As Zock tries to push in. Zock, fifth the way down on that Tech 2 point fence, and with an easy overcharge, they could be cleaned up. Aurora's not having a fun time, and they all die to a combination of artillery and Aurora's. Well, it looks like Zock will be putting a lot more build capacity on that. And it does get denied. Leaves the wreck until that wreck is denied. But things are not looking good for Zock. Zock getting his ACU in the mix, taking lots of damage from point defense and Aeon artillery. Needs to be aggressive. Obsidian's now on the field. Tech 1 point defense being constructed. As Zock forced to retreat, he does not have an option to push in. Not going to base trade. Lushan, perhaps a little scared, does not want to risk it all. He doesn't have an energy storage yet, which is important. He should be getting one. He's getting a Tech 2 mass. He's teching quite substantially, though. He's got his first Tech 2 mass ejector, getting his second Zock. On the other hand, actually he's doing a similar thing. He's got his first Tech 2, working on a second. Lushan slightly ahead in the teching. Reclaim favors Lushan by 1,000. Obsidians have to make sure they don't get kited. Tech 2 point defense for Zock. Making one to retreat to, another one to put pressure. And then a bit of a Tech 2 point defense creep. But Tech 2 land now out from Lushan, destroying his Tech 1 land factory. Possibly not entirely necessary. Zock is going to move in with the point defense to retreat to. Feels safe as he gets his second Tech 2 point defense up and ready. Well, Lushan's going to retreat in the face of that. Obsidian making its way to this top expansion. Not being really effective against the Auroras, though. I'd like to see one of these players try the Blaze to see how well that works out. And Obsidian gets cleaned up. More missile launchers are out soon enough. We'll already be putting fire on those Tech 2 point defense that Zock just completed. Zock now working on his third and fourth mechs, which he can't afford. He's got lots of mass, as does Lushan. Lushan techie his mechs is slightly faster. He's got his third already. It's a very techie ambush pass game. I don't know if they agreed to this beforehand. They might have decided, alright, we're going to let each other live and see how the late game Aeon plays out. TMD from Zock. Ooh, that's gotta hurt. Does not get finished. Zock now gonna put pressure. Runs into some Tech 2 point defense. Does not want to get involved with that. Goes down below 5,000. But Tech 2 point defense and Obsidians should protect Zock, at least temporarily. Zock trying to get another TMD more defensively. See if the missile launchers will go after the PD first, so he has time to get this up. And Zock doing his teching. Slightly ahead of Lushan. Although that is because Lushan is power stalling quite massively. These shields, even with their reduced power costs, are still not enough. Lushan will be getting a Tech 2 power. And Zock will be getting Tech 2 air. and a Tech 2 power. So Tech 2 air, not as effective considering the amount of Tech 2 flak that can easily be distributed around the map. But Mercy is always an option, as well as gunships, and more importantly, Swift Winds. Doing this weird TMD point defense creep. Lushan staying back, does not want to really engage in that position. He can if he wants to. He probably could break through this. There's only a single obsidian and one Tech 2 point defense behind it. Zock has not picked up his reclaim, surprisingly enough. An Aeon amazing TMD versus small amounts. We'll be protecting everything quite well. Lushan can definitely afford to take a few hits from these Tech 2 PD. He's almost full health. Overcharge gets out that Tech 2 NG. That'll be really annoying. But Tech 2 power is complete for both of these players. See what they choose to do with that. Lots of mass being invested in these PD from Zock. Lushan investing a middle amount of mass and a few more missile launchers. It doesn't work if the more missile launchers are spaced out a bit in their firing times. Then the Aeon TMD becomes really difficult to use. Lots of build capacity being switched to Zock's Tech 2 Air Factory. What he plans to do, Zock getting forward shield. Zock still with more mass. For second, now scouting efforts. We'll see everything. He will see the Tech 3 upgrading factory. He'll see the Tech 2 Air Factory constructing Mercies. Although what Lushan will see that and build a anti-air in front of it. Zock will switch away the build capacity. Is he going to build a lot of Mercies or just one? Just one to scare Lushan. You don't want his comm being too aggressive. But Lushan will be going for Tech 3 land as well. It seems more and more like these players had decided not to attack, because Lushan is in a position where I think he could push in if he really wanted to. There isn't too much Zock could do to stop him. Well, maybe not now, but earlier on. But both players getting the Tech 3 land are some of the more interesting changes that are located. Namely the sniper bots. Those are quite interesting. Tech 3 already has also been changed. Increased build time though. And the TMD is holding. Zock going to start shooting at these forces, making them retreat. Would have been nice if he managed to take out the flak there. Landing some nice hits on the mole missile launchers though. That's how you deny reclaim. Heavy assault bots moving in. But Zock with the slightly larger mass income should be able to outspam Lushan in that regard. Now, leaving without the heavy assault bots, they'll be forced back. Managed to take out one PD. But that's all. Lushan coming in, looking for an overcharge. Is there a Mercy? Lushan bringing in his air, afraid of Mercies. They're very scary things. The Mercy's right here. If Lushan were to get too low. Oh no, Mercy, don't do it! No, Mercy! You are our only hope. I'm doing something. Although Zock can feasibly get that wreck back. Looks like Lushan got the overcharge on that heavy assault bot. Actually, no, looks like it was pulled back. Sniper bots coming out from Zock. Zock sitting around in his turtle, scared of nothing. Tech 3 artillery now being moved out into the battlefield. As the sniper bots continue to do their thing. Zock kiting with them appropriately. Now it's going to be heavy assault bots versus sniper bots. And Tech 2 PD shield. Can't forget the Tech 2 PD shield. But these are heavy artilleries. Going to be very annoying. Unless Zock chooses to deal with them. Which I'm afraid he'll have to. It looks like the Tech 2 power is being targeted. It may go down. And it does. Zock now working on a power deficit. We'll probably have to turn off the shield maybe. Stop constructing a Tech 2 artillery. It's not effective. It's not effective. Spoiler. Not effective. Well, it looks like it's all out heavy assault bots from Lushan. No, although it does look like those heavy artillery installations were picked up. Bots doing their thing. Zock recovering from the... Not necessarily recovering, getting the Tech 2 power back up swiftly though. Use those shields back on to kite these sniper bots. Sniper bots, get out of there! No, 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 no! Run! 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 Get out of there! Maybe assault bots in the base. Those may deposit themselves as nice chunks of mass. Takes out the Tech 2 radar. Ouch! Now this is just gonna kill some flak and stuff. Not particularly useful. And it looks like the heavy artillery installation has been complete. Zock constructing more. Should be able to break down that shield eventually. Gunship's being brought in. Protecting that Tech 2 mechs. If only they could hit stuff. And the Tech 2 mechs would have been saved. And Zock's mass advantage. Not looking too good. Hello, person. Do not know who you are. But artillery versus artillery. Zock with the fancier artillery. With the more expensive artillery, much more expensive. Just looking at these columns for a second. You see Zock. That's not a Tech 2 engineer. 2,000 mass. And if we look at his Tech 2 land factory, it's like only 800 mass. Much cheaper to build this. You can get 3 of them, but this has a substantially larger range, which is why lots of people like it. Zock doing the correct thing, controlling his, or surrounding his artillery with Tech 1 P-gens. But Zock's shield's in a position where they could break. Not particularly good. His artillery has been very dispersed among the shields, not entirely doing anything, and the shields do go down. He's actually taking fire from a shield disruptor. Things exploding. Oh no, Zock. Things are exploding. Save us, Zock. Save us. Although it looks like Lushan's shield might go down as well. Zock trying to repair his heavy artillery installation. They are very low health. That is the disadvantage of surrounding them with the P-gens, though. They have nice on-death explosions. But Zock trying to sneak around. Heavy assault bot. We'll get a few kills, but we'll get cleaned up quite easily. Now both players really engaging in an eco war right now. Zock teching it at a reasonably slow rate, getting a lot of power though. Lushan putting twice as much build capacity on the teching. Yay, teching! Both players don't really want to tech these mexes, although Lushan will tech one. As will Zock. And Zock's base, his noble outpost, has now finally been silenced. And Zock in a position where he could get killed. Lushan coming around. wants Zock out of here. Wants these PDs to return to their rightful owner, though he's getting hit with a few artillery shells. Now with Tech 2 PD, Lushan going down very low. Lushan, what are you doing? You're crazy French person guy. Although Zock does win this battle over here, Lushan doesn't even have to fight a battle in his expansion. He's got lots of mass here and walls. Walls are cool. Shield disruptors and artillery making up the backbone of Lushan's forces. I think it's interesting that neither player deciding to tech additional factories to Tech 3. Both players opting to go with just the build capacity. As we see, Zock has got a Tech 2 factory to produce his shields. Now we're in... I've never seen this on Ambush Pass. Players deciding to get into a artillery war. And Zock gonna put pressure over here. Standing close to each other. AoE is not a nice thing. Oh no, the fake Tech 1 point defense. They claimed so many lives. Although, if we look at the numbers, Zock still has air control quite easily. Lushan has enough flak to make up for the difference, though. As Zock constructing another base with even more Tech 1 pigeons. Doop. Actually, shield's going down. If either of these players lost a substantial amount of power, it would be very bad. Though Zock's power mostly under a shield, this one. I'll be open to a snipe. Although neither player has access to a fighter bomber, so sniping Tech 2 power is significantly more difficult. Zock possibly doesn't need this power right now, although Zock actually does tech this factory to Tech 3. Gets the build capacity up. And both players just... Alright, this is silly. Stop it. Stop it. This is not what you're supposed to do. Zock desperately defending his Tech 2 mexes. And shots managed to make some hits. Zock losing 2 artillery installations. Well, Lushan losing, I believe, 1. And no, Zock, don't fly over the flag. Don't fly the... He fought over the flag, and he doesn't care. He still won. So much mass on the map at this point. It's kind of ridiculous. Looking at Reclaim, 9k versus 12k. Lushan advantage. As we move past the 28-minute mark on Ambush Pass. Shield disruptors doing their thing. Only if they realized there was no shield. Boom, that was effective. Oh, nice hits. Then slight miss. These artilleries are in a dangerous spot though. A few good hits, and they're all of Lushan's indirect fire is dead. Second too soon. Looks like heavy assault pods will chase away the artillery. Lushan decently low. Zock not so much. As both players trying to raid each other with heavy assault bots. It gets to the point where you're wondering where the GC is. Although Zock is in a position where he could go Tech 3 air. Zock making mercies. I like this man's thinking. Notices Lushan's ACU walking randomly back and forth. I think I'll make mercies. This seems reasonable. Seems like a good idea. Don't you think? But there are Tech 2 flags. And Zock is disappointed. Zock with nice overcharges though. Disappointed is short-lived. Lucian is suspicious. Zock hiding his mercies temporarily off map. And air control goes back into the hands of Lucian. Or into the hands of Lucian. Zock also has sufficient flak. If Lucian stays here, he'll lose air control. And Lucian loses air control. Lucian, no! You fool! I just got hit by a load of Tech 3 artillery. Well, it just started. Alright. Well, that was a bit anticlimactic. Lucian bravely dies to a horde of Tech 3 artillery shells after walking around the map like an idiot while having an air fight. So I hope you enjoy this cast. It was fun. Lucian dying like a fool. Always an interesting thing to see. Rarely happens. More often happens to Blackheart. But thank you for watching, and good night.